welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be filming my first book haul. So over the last couple of months, I'm going to call this my fall book haul. These are all books that I've gotten towards the end of August until now. There's quite a few, so I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to organize this, so I think I'm just going to do it by places that I got it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm going to start with books that were sent to me over the last few months. There's not too many, and it looks like actually they're all thrillers, which is very on brand. First is The Collective, which was sent to me by the publisher. I was originally offered this when it first came out last year because it's just now out in paperback, and I said no because I didn't think about it that I would like it, but since then I've seen a lot of reviews and they're all really good, and so I've decided when they offered the paperback to go ahead and say yes, and I'm really excited to try it. I think it's about a group of moms. Yeah, so one mom is still upset about her daughter's death, and it attracts a group of women, the Collective. It's like a dark web. Fueled by mutual rage, the Collective members devise and act out retribution. So basically it's a revenge story between moms and how they've been wronged by privileged people. So sounds great. Next is Friends Like This by Kimberly McCreight. I just read her other book, what is it called? A Good Marriage, this month actually, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to try this one. I actually have no idea what this is about. Sounds like a group of friends coming back together 10 years after a fatal accident. Love it. Another friend is found dead, another is missing. Basically, we're going to untangle a current mystery and a mystery from 10 years ago. I love stories like that. And then next is one of my most anticipated reads. It's the new Mary Kubica, just the nicest couple. I read my first Mary Kubica last year, which was The Local Woman Missing, and it was one of my top 5 books of the year last year, so I'm really excited to try her new one. 2 couples, 2 close friends, 1 missing spouse. So basically it sounds like one spouse goes missing, 1 couple knows what happens, but they don't want to tell anyone else. So sounds great. Next, these 2 were sent to me. They're both from Poised Pen, which is from Source Books, I believe. This one I have never heard of before, but it sounds great. It's called Secret Lives, and the cover, does it not remind you of Only Murders in the Building? It says, the line here is, when you fly under the radar, they never see you coming. Okay, it sounds like we're going to be following Ethel. She is 75 years old, and someone shoots one of her boarders, and her cousin who's come to stay with her sees her kind of go into action, and it seems like Ethel is maybe more than what she seems, and so they're going to uncover the mystery of what's going on. Sounds great. And then next is The Christmas Murder Game, which, perfect, right? I am already thinking about what I'm going to start reading for the holiday season, and this is definitely going to be added to my TBRs. It says 12 clues, 12 keys, 12 days of Christmas, but how many will die before the 12th night? It sounds like it's going to be a game in a grand family home. This year's prize is to die for. Deeds to the house itself. It kind of sounds like a Christmassy Knives Out kind of thing. There's going to be games and riddles, and I'm sure someone's going to die. Okay, next I think I will do my book of the months from the last few months. I usually end up getting 3. I think one month I only got 2, but I can't help it. I usually am a 3 book box girl. So we'll start with, I think this is August. Got Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I already read this, and I'm happy to report that I have finally read an Alice Feeney that I like. I thought this was brilliant. I liked His and Hers, but I didn't love it. But I think this was a 4.5 star for me. I really liked it. Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter. When I added this, I actually didn't know that it was a series. I just generally enjoy Karen Slaughter, so I saw it and I grabbed it, but I learned that this is the second in the Pieces of Her series, which I hadn't read yet, but I listened to the audiobook last month. It was okay. I didn't love it. Usually I do really enjoy Karen Slaughter, and I thought it was okay. But some people have told me this is better. Some people told me it's not as good. So we'll see what happens. Next is The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell. And this is also a sequel to a series that I haven't read, The Family Upstairs. I like Lisa Jewell. I know that she's hit or miss with a lot of people, but The Family Upstairs seems to be the one book that people like really love from her, that I've seen reviewed that don't usually like Lisa Jewell. So I'm excited to try this series, and I have a feeling I'll probably enjoy it. So then in September, I think I only got 2, and I got Other Birds, which I saw a lot of early praise for on Bookstagram from a lot of people that I usually have similar tastes to. So I went ahead and picked it up. It says, comes an enchanting tale of soul sisters, lonely strangers, secrets that shape us, and how the right flock can guide you home. I don't know too much about it, but I do know that it's kind of a little bit magical, and I really enjoy that. So it says, when one of her neighbors dies under odd circumstances, the night Zoe arrives, she is thrust into the mystery of the Dala Wisp, which involves the missing pages from a legendary writer whose work might be hidden there. She soon discovers that many unfinished stories permeate the place and the people around her, in need of healing from wrongs as past as she is. To find their way, they have to learn how to trust one another, comfort their deepest fears, and let go of what haunts them. I don't know, I've heard really good things, so I'm excited. And then I got Killers of a Certain Age, which I had never heard of before, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is by the author who does the Veronica Speedwell series, and I've read 3 of those so far, and I really enjoy them. I like her writing, and this is about a group of retired women assassins. Basically, I don't know if any of you watched that movie, I think it was called Milkshake, something like that, on Netflix, and it was about these women assassins, and anyways, they work for the museum, an elite network of assassins, and it sounds like someone's backstabbed them, and now they're the ones that are being chased. So I'm very excited for that. Next, I got 3 for October, and if you're a Book of the Month member, you know that sometimes the only way that you, well, not sometimes, but always, the only way you can get add-ons is you have to pick a main selection. And for October, none of the main selections were really like grabbing my interest, but there was 2 add-ons that I really wanted, so I had to pick one. So the 2 add-ons that I got was Spells for Forgetting, which I've seen everywhere already. I've seen nothing but good things. I don't know what it is. I know that it's magical, and that's fine with me. It says, a deeply atmospheric story about ancestral magic, an unsolved murder, and a second chance at true love. I kind of don't want to know too much more about it, but I know that my friends are giving it high praise, so I wanted to get this. And then the other add-on I wanted was The Kiss Curse, which I read. It's in my next stack of books that I'm going to haul, but I read The Ex-Hex beginning of September. It was my first like spooky season read that I read, and I really liked it. It wasn't like a new favorite romance, but I thought it was sweet and perfect for fall, and I've heard from some people that this one is even better, so I wanted to grab it. It's not on my fall TBR because I didn't know it was coming out, but I'll probably try and sneak it in here in October. And then, so for the add-on, or not the add-on, the main pick, I got The Family Game, which I haven't heard of, but it definitely sounds like something that I will like. A rich, eccentric family, a time-honored tradition, a lethal game of survival. One woman is about to find out if she has what it takes to join her husband's family in the riveting must-read thriller from the author of Something in the Water, Mr. Nobody, and The Disappearing Act. I haven't read any of those, but the rules: number 1, listen carefully. Number 2, do your research. Number 3, trust no one. Number 4, run for your life. I mean, I always like murdery mystery books with games. So next, let's do these ones. So my library had their fall Friends of the Library book sale. So I went and I told myself I was only going to buy a couple of things, but I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, but it's okay. They're only $1.50, so first is The Cold Millions, which is from the author of Beautiful Ruins, which I liked. Richly entertaining novel about 2 brothers swept up in the turbulent class warfare of the early 20th century. So it sounds like a family drama, basically. I'll probably end up doing it as an audiobook, but I grabbed that. I've seen it quite a few places. Next is Believe Me. I have only tried to read one thing from this author, and it ended up being a DNF, but for $1, I decided, maybe I'll try this one. And I think one of my friends, who usually we like the same kind of thrillers, I think she really liked this one. So next is a book I've already read, but I didn't own, was Leave the World Behind, which I don't like, but now I have it. The River at Night, which I think has been out for a minute, but I've seen it everywhere. I wonder if I can. 2017, so not forever, but, or 2014. Anyways, I know this is either a love it or hate it kind of story, but I've always wanted to try it. It says, a high-stakes drama set against the harsh beauty of the Maine wilderness, The River at Night is a non-stop and unforgettable thriller by a stunning new voice in fiction. Sounds like Winifred, her brother, dies, and her marriage ends, so she needs a vacation. So when her 3 best friends insist on a high-octane getaway for their annual girls' trip, she signs on despite her misgivings. What starts as an invigorating hiking and rafting excursion in the remote wilderness soon becomes an all-too-real nightmare. A freak accident leaves the women stranded, separating them from their raft and everything they need to survive. That's all I need to know. Sounds great. I love a survival story. Next is Little Darlings by Melanie Golding. She wrote, did she not? No, I'm thinking of Megan Golding. Oops. Megan Golden. Oh, this is not who I thought it was. That's okay. I have seen this around. I'll read you this first paragraph, and I think that that's what we'll leave it at. Mother knows best. Everyone says new mother Lauren Tranter is exhausted, that she needs rest. And they're right. With newborn twins Morgan and Riley, she's never been more tired in her life, but she knows what she saw. That night in her hospital room, a woman tried to take her babies and replace them with her own creatures. But everyone from her doctor to her husband thinks she's imagining things. I'm in. Next is Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. Last year I read, what's the first one? Practical Magic. Really enjoyed it. This year I read The Rules for Magic, and I'm obsessed. That was probably going to be in my top books of the year. It was incredible. So I had to get this one when I saw it on the table. I hope that it's as good as the second book, but I mean I have to continue. I have to see what happens. Next is Falling, which basically how this goes, I don't know how you guys do at a library book sale, but if I've seen it around and I've seen at least one positive review from somebody that I trust, I'm just gonna grab it. It's $1. So that is the case for this one. Oh, this is all the synopsis. You just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 other passengers aboard or on board. You don't know is that 30 minutes before the flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane. Enjoy the flight. That sounds crazy. I just read Hostage by Claire McIntosh, and it was also a high-stakes airplane setting, and I really liked it, so I'm sure I will enjoy this one. Next, I got a book that I already read but didn't own, the only Cheryl Lapina book that I like, An Unwanted Guest. It's a snowed-in, kind of Agatha Christie-esque story, and it's the only one from her that I like, so now I own it. Next, I got something that is very not me, but I have seen people talking about it, and so I wanted to give it a shot. I don't read fantasy, and I don't read Nora Roberts, but I have heard this is really good, so I found book 1 in the Nora Roberts The Awakening series. It's The Dragonheart Legacy, which sounds like nothing I would like, but I'm excited to try it. I kind of want to do a video where I just read fantasy for the first time. I've gotten a few lately because I've gotten really into like magical realism and you know, light fantasy, but I kind of want to try and get into more fantasy, so I'm kind of thinking about trying to do a video where I just read fantasy, but I don't know if that'll be boring. So I don't know what this is about. I'm already reading the synopsis and there's a lot of words. In the realm of Talamah, a teenage warrior named Keegan emerges from the lake holding a sword representing both power and the terrifying responsibility to protect the Fae. In another realm known as Philadelphia, a young middle school teacher has just discovered she possesses a treasure of her own. Okay, yeah, that sounds like something I would not read, but you know what? I'm going to try it. And then there was a few paperbacks, which I went ahead and grabbed. I love Lisa Gardner. I can't remember where this one falls in the lineup of the books that I've been reading, but the DD, I've read Find Her and the one after that. So I think this one comes before, but I don't think it matters too much. But Look for Me by Lisa Gardner. And then Christmas book, The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. And I actually got another, well, I'm eyeing one of her other Christmas books. So I think this will be good for my Christmas TBR. And then I have read exactly one Colleen Hoover book in my life, and it was Verity, and I really liked it, but I've never seen myself enjoying her contemporary romance. I don't know what they are, but this was like 75 cents, so I got it. It ends with us. And I know that the prequel, is it the prequel or the sequel? I don't know. Everybody's going nuts about it. It just came out Tuesday. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it or not. Convince me that I need to. I've been trying not to really buy as many books off of Amazon, except for sometimes I do pre-orders. Because as much as I don't love buying books from Amazon, they are the only ones that get your pre-order here on time. I have waited weeks, which is not that big of a deal with as a reader who owns a lot of books. It's not like I'm sitting here waiting for my book to show up, but it is kind of nice sometimes to have it in your hands. So the pre-order that I did get is The Winners by Frederick Bachman. I wanted to reread the 2 other books first, but I haven't done that yet, and I still really want to, so I haven't gotten into this one yet, but holy schmoly, this thing is big. I'm a little nervous because it's the end of a series. Baritone is probably my top 3 favorite books of all time, if not my favorite book of all time. But this is the end of a series. It's heckin' long. Like, it makes me nervous to spend this much time in a story, and you know, how is it gonna stay good the whole time? We'll see. One other person on my Bookstagram that I follow, who's also a Frederick Bachman super fan, she didn't really like it. She only gave it 3 stars, so that is making me even more nervous. So I will probably continue to put this off for a while. And then next is Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting. I'm reading this with an in real life friend, so I bought it off of Amazon just to get it here quickly, and I read it right away, and I really, really liked it. It was being really hyped on Bookstagram, and I enjoy stories like this. They're short chapters, there's multiple perspectives, and it's just all around a really delightful story. And then this next stack, well, I bought this one at an indie near me. It's The Shining. I have not read a Stephen King ever in my life, and I would really like to try. My aunt has always been someone that I know really enjoys Stephen King, so I told her to tell me which one to buy. It was between this one and they had The Pet Cemetery, and so she told me to get this one. So The Shining it's based on the Stanley Hotel, which I've been to many times because Estes Park is a couple hours away from me, and we go there a lot for vacation and 4th of July. So it gives me a nice visual too. So next are all books that I bought at Barnes & Noble. We'll start with my newest obsession, which are witchy books. I bought and already read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Loved it, obsessed. It's a I call it House in the Cerulean Sea, but make it witchy. It's about this witch who goes to this secluded house to kind of train and live with this group of young female witches who has no one to kind of like show them how to use their powers. So she comes in and kind of like becomes part of this like found family situation, and it's just delightful. And then next is The Ex-Hex, which I already read as well, and I liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars, and this is a second chance romance that takes place in like a small town, kind of Stars Hollow vibe. And something goes wrong with the magic, and the boy who she might have hexed on accident many years ago comes back to town and has to help fix the magic, and it's kind of their story working together and maybe falling back in love. And then 2 that I haven't read yet, which is Not the Witch You Wed, which it sounds like magicless witch Violet Maxwell wants nothing to do with alpha wolf shifter Lincoln Thorne. It sounds like nothing I would like, but I am excited to read it. It sounds like another second chance romance. And then next is Nature of Witches, which I saw around a lot last year or the year before, and there's Clara, and she is there's a word, an ever witch. And I think they basically like help control the seasons. And I've just heard really good things. It's nice and atmospheric, and I think it's kind of her learning to use her powers, and I don't know, it sounds great though. Next is, I don't know if this is witchy, but I've seen it around, and I love the cover with the skull hands and the gravestone. It's The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. Art Ralston is a marshal tasked with patrolling the strange and magical wilds of Tanria. It's an unforgiving job, and he's got nothing but time to ponder his loneliness. Mercy Birdsall never has a moment to herself. She's been single-handedly keeping Birdsall and Son undertakers afloat in defiance of sullen jerks like Heartache Hart, the man with the knack for showing up right when her patience is thinnest. After yet another run-in with merciless Mercy, Hart finds himself penning a letter addressed simply to a friend. Much to his surprise, he receives an anonymous letter in return, and a tentative friendship is born. Little does Hart know he's bearing his soul to the person who infuriates him the most. I've heard it's a little weird, and I like that, and it sounds like a enemies to lovers, so I'm in. Next is the sequel to the Inheritance games, The Hawthorne Legacy. I read the first one a couple months ago. I thought it was fine. I kind of don't get the hype. I think everyone is kind of pretentious and annoying, but I really want to know what happens. So I went ahead and picked up the second one when it came out in paperback because I was not going to pay hardcover prices. Next, I got 2 romances. When in Rome, I think this just came out pretty recently, and it sounds freaking adorable. And it's really short. That's nice. But it sounds like it's an opposites attract. It sounds like Amelia Rose is a pop star and a small town baker named Noah. She gets stranded and he helps her out despite him not wanting to. And I think we can all figure out what goes after that. And then next I got another book for Christmas, Just Like Magic. So there's a Christmas movie. I watched it on Netflix. I don't know. I don't think it's a Netflix exclusive every year. And I think it's called The Spirit of Christmas. And it's one of my must-watch movies for Christmas. It's pretty freaking cheesy, but I love it. And he like can only come back the week of Christmas or something, and his spirit is trapped or whatever. But this kind of reminds me of that, so I had to pick it up. It says the holidays were never her thing until she unwittingly summons the holiday spirit before her very eyes. So we have a main character, Betty, who isn't really into Christmas. She's obsessed with her public image. Betty boasts an extravagant lifestyle on social media, but the reality is Betty is broke and squatting in Colorado, and her family has no idea. Christmas, with its pressure to meet familial expectations, is looming when Betty plays a vinyl record of All I Want for Christmas Is You backwards and accidentally conjures up Paul, the holiday spirit, in the form of a charming and handsome, if offbeat man. Once the shock wears off, Betty knows she stumbled upon the greatest gift, a chance to make all her holiday wishes come true, plus a ready-made fiancé. But as soon as Betty's wishes lose their charm, she finds herself thrown off-kilter by Hall's sweet nature. Suddenly, grumpy Betty is finding her heart merry and light, but the happier she gets, the shorter Hall's time on Earth grows. Can Betty channel the Christmas spirit and learn to live with goodwill towards all men, or will her selfish ways return as soon as the holidays are over? Sounds great. Okay, so then the last pile that I have is my husband and I just went to Oregon for like a 4-day long weekend, and on our way home, or back to the Portland airport, we stopped at Powell's. I've always wanted to go. This place is huge, y'all. If you live here and go here regularly, how do you not get lost? I walked in there completely overwhelmed. You walk in, it looks like just a normal bookstore. You know, there's shelves over here, and then you walk into the back, and it like goes off in 6 different directions. And I was so confused and overwhelmed. So, I had a great time though, but I could spend so long there and spend so much money. I tried to go for things that were on sale. So I bought 5 things. I had to bring them all home with me in the suitcase, but I went light. I only got paperbacks and things that were on sale. So the first one I got is another fantasy that I've been wanting to try because Books and Lala gave it high praise and just came out in paperback. The Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I can't tell you anything about what this is about. Here, I'll just read the little phrase. Okay, my camera overheated, so I had to let it cool off, but I think I was talking about Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and I was going to read this little blurb right here. It says, a captivating and romantic debut fantasy inspired by the legend of It's the Chinese moon goddess, in which a young woman's quest to free her mother pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm. So I'm hopeful that I'll really like this. And then I got the book I'm reading right now, which is the Mary Shelley Club. It's a YA about a girl who gets who starts school at a prep school. She's not a scholarship, well, she's a scholarship kid, and she's struggling to fit in. She had some trauma last year that she's dealing with, and she gets accepted into this club that really like is obsessed with horror movies, and I think that they play pranks on kids, and I think it's gonna start to turn dark. I'm only this far in, but I'm enjoying it so far. And then I got another YA which is The Last True Poets of the Sea. The paperback of this looks so different than the hardcover, so I didn't even recognize it, but I remember a couple years ago some people talking about this one, and it's another YA. I don't know if I said that, but it's about this girl Violet gets shipped off for the summer away from her parents, and I think she has had some problems, and she goes to this small town off the coast of Maine, and she's looking for a shipwreck that her ancestors were a part of, and she meets some new people, and I think there might be a romance, and I've always wanted to read it, so I grabbed that one. And then I grabbed a romance, which is Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake. And I mean, right off the bat, this tells you that it's a accidental pregnancy, which is my least favorite trope in the history of everything ever. But I think it must be well done, because my friends who also don't like that trope have given this like 5 stars. So I'm gonna try it. So I got that one. And then last, I got Over the Woodward Wall, which is by Deborah Baker, but who is also Shauna McGuire, and I've been reading the Wayward Children series for a couple years now, and I really like them, and it looks like another like short book series, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I've been wanting it for a while, and it was only like $7 or something, so I went ahead and grabbed that. So that's it. You should see the chaos around me right now. But that's my book haul, my fall book haul, and I am on a no book buying ban until Christmas, except for Book of the Month and books I've already pre-ordered, because it's too late for that, right? All right. Thank you for watching my first book haul, and I will see you guys later. Bye.